Welcome back to the house next door.
Where real estate meets reality.
I'm Anthony Harris.
And I'm Barbara Giglio.
Well,
welcome back.
We're back from our summer break.
Yeah, we had a fun little summer break.
Yeah.
Just 2 weeks.
So are you ready for a joke?
Yes, let's do our joke. This is our...
Because I keep forgetting.
We're honoring our fellow comedians. Not fellow comedians, the comedians who allow
Are
us
we
to be...
honoring them or
I know, we say
them?
this every time, but they're letting us use their space.
So,
here's to them.
So
we're pouring one out for them.
With the, I think it was earlier in the season, I said that I had commitment issues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I figured out I am committed for a 30-year mortgage.
Wow. The delivery on that one was unbelievable.
Anywho.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so...
After that bad joke.
I know. So you know how we have, like, issues with... robotic things, and technology and the flying, what is it? The flying taxi?
Cab, yeah.
The flying cabs?
Yeah.
Okay, so you went in?
Not a flying cab.
Oh my gosh.
I
thought you said you went in a flying cab.
No.
Okay.
I went in a robo-taxi, which is Tesla's version of Waymo, like the self-driving cars.
Where'd you go?
We went from East Austin to downtown or downtown to East Austin.
Okay, so not
too far.
Like 5 miles?
It was like 2.
Okay.
It took us 20 minutes, but
oh my gosh.
It was good though. So
what was it like? Because I haven't done it.
Oh, we did go East Austin downtown. It was really cool. It was really nice. It was probably better than any Uber driver that we've ever been in.
Really?
The car came and picked us up right at the door. We got in, it asked us what music we wanted. You did it from your phone. You turned it on and it connected through the car. It drove through the parking lot and then we were eating our food in there and we could crank up the air conditioning. We could do the
really?
Music. And we were driving downtown and people were pointing at us.
Because they're like, look, it's the people in the
self-driving.
car with no car.
No driver.
Okay, do you ever think in the back of your mind, and this might just be my morbid way, I think, that you're locked in the car, you can't get out. The robot turns on you and it starts running over people, jumping on the sidewalks. And then it goes off the bridge to kill itself and kill you like a kamikaze. See, this is what I would think would happen.
Well, that's fine.
I'm terrified of the robots turning.
My philosophy on life is I've had fun.
Okay. I was even, kind of off topic, but I was totally off topic. I was, again, my dark, weird brain. The girl who got the alligator girl who got her arms bit off by the alligator and died. Yeah. It's so tragic and horrible. And then I was thinking, had she survived, but she didn't have arms. And I know there's people who, there's stubs where people don't have arms or legs. But I was just thinking through this whole not having arms. That's a lot different than maybe not having legs because you do so much when you think about it with your hands and your thumbs and your, how you twist and do all this stuff and feed yourself and all this. So I was just kind of going through the logistics of that. And then if you had a robotic arm. And then I was like, what if the robotic arm turned on you? And then it got a gun and then it wanted to shoot all these people and then it strangled yourself. And I'm like, why do I think of these things?
Because it's possible.
Well, I was like, okay, that's a lot. And then I went and did my Pilates. But anyway.
Then you went and did goat yoga.
But I don't know. I think like that sometimes. I don't know if anybody else thinks like that.
They probably do. I don't, but.
Well,
and how about your jelly roll?
Okay, so this is not thinking like that. My mom was over and we were sitting on the patio and she goes, what can you tell me about jelly roll? I keep seeing jelly roll everywhere. And I was like, that's odd. I wonder why jelly roll is trending. It's a pastry that is baked.
And remember, you only listen to dead people.
I do. This is going back to I only listen to dead people. I'm like, it's a sponge cake with... whipped cream or jelly, and then you just kind of roll it up. Sometimes it's called a Swiss roll, and I'm like, why is that trending? And she's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's a person. And I said, what? And Craig goes, Barb, it's a singer. It's like a rap star or something. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe I thought she really thought like
a jelly roll.
Like it was a jelly roll.
Yeah. Where have you been the last 10 years?
I don't know. Thinking about robotic arms choking people out.
As you listen to your dead people that died from robotic arms. No.
Well, I'm listening to Billie Holiday. I don't know. But, okay, so let's get into the episode.
Yeah.
So this episode is very timely and it's timely for you too, because we are never doing straightforward real estate deals. We are constantly doing land deals and, historic homes and investor stuff. And it's so nice when we kind of get what I say, like kind of straightforward deals. We just don't get a lot of those sometimes.
But even those have issues.
So this episode is called Outside of the Cookie Cutter. So going beyond the cookie cutter when buying property gets spicy. Mm-hmm. And so, currently I'm working with this where happens all the time. You have a client that wants 30 plus acres. They want to retire gentleman's ranch. So they wanted to be out in, out in the rural areas where they can hunt, they can shoot, they can have their privacy, there's trees, nobody's going to bother them. They're kind of getting away from it all. But that's hard because when you live in kind of a major area like Austin, and we've got Taylor, and we've got, Waco, and we've got Temple, and we've got Bastrop, and we have San Antonio, trying to find these big tracts of land where the urban crawl isn't going to at some point encroach on them can be really difficult. And so you have to totally do your due diligence to make sure, because I have a commitment to my client to say, okay, we're going to find this great ranch, but let's totally make sure there's not going to be a water park in your backyard in 5 or 10 years, or TxDOT is going to be taking a highway right through the middle of your property because we just didn't look at everything. Yeah. And so that's what this episode's about. Let's
One of my
get
clients
into it.
Actually owns a property that TxDOT bought half of it through there's going to be a highway in the middle of it.
In the middle of their property?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they're a commercial developer, so they love that.
Oh,
because
gosh.
They're gonna,
that would work out for them. But how many acres did they have?
10.
And so TxDOT just took
half.
Did they pay them for it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
but pennies on the dollar, or was it eminent domain?
Value.
They paid market value?
Yeah,
okay.
and so they took a strip of it. So they own on both sides of the highway now.
As a commercial property, that's great.
Yep.
As a residential property, that would be devastating.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it happens.
It does happen.
And they knew that whenever they were buying.
When they were buying.
They knew it was a possibility, yeah.
But if you're buying commercial, then that's a that's sometimes...
It actually increased their value.
Exactly.
Probably tenfold.
So sometimes growth, depending on what kind of property you're buying, is actually a good thing.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was just thinking when you were talking about, at that point, I'd rather just sell, make a lot of money, and then go buy another one. Right.
Make it commercial. So let's get into the road. That's a good segue, what TxDOT does. Yeah. So when you have, because I've been looking at all these TxDOT maps, especially on some of these rural areas south of Waco and north of Temple, where there's a whole corridor planned of growth and, data centers and other things like that. And some of it's not planned immediately, but it's in the future, and that could change because that's how these things happen. But they do have a lot of growth patterns there. And so I'm, looking at the highways that have all this projected growth. And the biggest thing is okay, for my client, is he going to lose privacy? Is his, it's going to be traffic and noise? Is his driveway access entrance going to be different? Is now, because of all these roads that are coming there, is now we're going to have this commercial corridor where the urban creep comes in, and you have big subdivisions and ranchettes next to your beautiful little property that you're, hoping to escape from. So it's really imperative when you're looking at land and you're looking out there and you're like, wow, there's nothing out here. We're out in the middle of nowhere. You still have to look at those TxDOT maps because that's where the real story is. It's not just looking out and going, oh, wow, this is really sleepy and pretty. It's, okay, this is what they have planned now. This is what they have funding for now. This is what they're projected to do. And then see where that property intersects with all of that.
Well, look at the toll road, 130. Right. It's out in the middle of nowhere, or it was. But now Tesla's surrounding it, and SpaceX and all of that.
SpaceX and
the airport's expanding.
Yes, absolutely. So all of it, you build it and it will come. And a lot of times when you have the data centers coming, they'll build it first.
Yep. And then ask for permission.
And then to the data centers, because the data centers are first and then everything else comes after. So it's really important to make sure like you're paying attention what that 2-lane country sleepy road is doing. So that's something that we always have to do for our clients is, we got to look at TxDOT. We've got to look at what the city has planned and go from there, because I've already eliminated about 4 properties for my client because he is going to be in the middle of a major intersection in about 5 years, and he doesn't want that. He likes to move and never move again. So that's a lot of pressure on me to make sure we have it.
But it's also different if there's a lot of money in it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
if his property, if he buys it for $500 and now it's worth $3 million,
right? Well, we could maybe move again, right?
Maybe some people.
Red flag number 2 is like we touched on this, the industrial creep of commercial in data centers, right? So these are examples of like beautiful land again, and this is what we were running into. Are there warehouses planned? Are there truck yards around? Is there manufacturing? Is there data centers that are set up? Is there substations, concrete plants?
That's a big one right now.
Concrete plants.
They're all over the place.
Yeah. And rock quarries. And even if they're not the quarries, it's just places where they're kind of like breaking the rocks down. And
trucks.
Those are trucks are loud. The dust is loud. You drive by on a Saturday to look at the property, nobody's working. But on Monday, they're out there busting up rocks, and big old trucks are rumbling down the street. And there's your little quiet private road.
Well, in San Marcos, there's a development that's coming in that's it's going to be a trucking yard, airport, and train, and warehousing. All in one area.
And seeing if somebody bought
over like 200 acres, like it's huge.
And that's what happens when you're looking at like sometimes when you're looking at like 10 acres and 7 acres, you don't run into some of these major issues that you do when you're looking at larger tracts of land out in these places that are going to develop, right? Like they're kind of insulated in these what we call gentleman ranch type environments, but then once you get to that big property, that's when you get like, well, there's 400 acres here, there's 2,000 acres here. You can easily just get swarmed by a Samsung or a data center or it's not going to stay, land isn't going to stay vacant forever unless you're out in the desert.
That's what happened in Taylor with Samsung is that land doubled overnight.
It did, and Taylor was just such a very small, closed town.
And we'll talk about this too, but their infrastructure, it can't keep up.
Yeah, it's not there for it. Yeah.
And I think that's part of this segment.
and then also like water rights. So there was another property we were looking at, beautiful, 25 acres again, in Caldwell, and it's. So the issue there is there's an oil drill going, just adjacent to the property. You can't see it because, 25 acres adjacent to the property is kind of far away, right? But you got to find out, so the flare from, the fire flare from it, just building those rigs is loud, noisy, and dirty. And then once it does get built, you can have those flares, and that will definitely take away from your dark sky night. They can smell. And even though they're electric and they say, oh, you're not going to hear them, they're really quiet, they do squeak over time. And to find out, where they're planned, where they're going and what they're...
And they never know how long they're going to be there.
They're going to be there. You got to reach out to the Railroad Commission to kind of see what's going on with, the mineral rights and where the oil drills are going and how is this affecting the water rights. And so you got to look at all of that.
Well, and they also can drill down and out.
Yeah, frack.
So they could be drilling under your land.
Yeah, and you have to check with that. And because, again, that my client was like, oh, this is perfect. And then we drove around and I was like, it looks like you could see it. Gas and oil company had signs up. and they had just built a road.
Yep.
And we were like, okay, great. Now we got to get the Railroad Commission involved. And then the aquifer, too. So it taps into one of the prolific major aquifers here that I always mispronounce, so I'm not even going to try. And San Antonio pulls water from that aquifer that this same well taps into. So, and it's called the Vista Ridge Project. And so you have to the aquifer has dropped since that's happened because you have a major city getting a water source from where you're getting your water source. So what if they run it dry? So
or
they
you have to dig deeper.
You have to dig deeper, and this is expensive. And so there's a Post Oak Savannah conservation in place to help the residents, and they will help them if they have to dig deeper, and they will help them if they have to go to court. But these are all things that you need to know before you get there and go, whoa, wait, somebody didn't tell me that this I could possibly need to go to court and, fight for my water rights.
Yeah. And that's a hot topic right now.
It is a really hot topic, especially with all the growth and the data centers. Because here's a fun fact that I heard, not verified, absolutely, totally not verified, but a closed loop data center uses less water than a Buc-ee's with a car wash. That is what I've heard.
I can see it because closed loop is that they recycle the water themselves, but I don't know how many of them are actually closed loop.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is very true.
And so we've talked about how data centers affect wastewater. So I'm part of a committee with wastewater for the city of San Marcos, and talking about what goes into our wastewater and what it takes to treat it. And so cities have put in place treatment plans, or the companies have to treat their water to a certain spec before they release it to the city to be wastewater. So data centers in particular have to spend a lot of money to treat their water to take those chemicals out before it even gets to the city's wastewater treatment to treat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
It makes sense, like those high industrial clients for wastewater are held to standards that the city sets so that it's not taking a toll on the wastewater treatment plant that the city already has for drinking water.
For drinking water. I just don't want to drink water.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like you.
And Bastrop's had the same issue with the wastewater, and Tesla and SpaceX and all of that are high industrial.
And how crazy is this? I found out that my well is the same aquifer that the Vista Ridge project is coming out of. And so I did all this due diligence for my client, but none for myself.
Yep, too late now.
Well, I'm fine.
There's water coming out of the tap. We're fine.
I waste water anyway. So.
Oh, wow. I have St. Augustine at least.
I know. And then, another... you were going to tell me about... Greenpoint Energy.
Oh, yeah. That's another development.
That's another development that we need to talk about.
So that's over on the 969 corridor in Bastrop County. Yeah. And so I think actually part of it might be in Travis and part of it's in Bastrop, but it's somewhere in that area. I know part of it's in Bastrop, though, for sure. But it's a really unique concept. It's broken out into 3 phases.
Okay.
The first phase is of data center, which is already up and running, I believe.
Okay.
The second phase is
closed
commercial.
Loop?
I don't know.
We don't know.
I'm not that invested into it.
You don't care that much.
But I had a buyer out there, and so I did a lot of research.
Yeah, as you should. Again, outside the cookie cutter.
Yep.
Getting spicy.
And so, and it was crazy because seeing it on paper, it's like, it's so futuristic, but then you drive out there, you're like, oh, it's happening. It's today. So the first was data center. I think that's been completed. The next phase is commercial warehousing space.
Okay.
And that's getting built as we speak, as far as I know.
Okay. They're hammering right now. Ding, 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 ding.
And then the third phase is an airport that has a manufacturer of flying cars. And
stop.
And they're set to sell.
I can't with the flying cars.
And they've already been approved by the FAA, and they're already signed a deal with the airport to start selling them once it gets developed. So you're going to have a flying car dealership.
No. I can't. I'm not leaving my house anymore. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But how futuristic does that sound?
That is so Jetsons.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I say this, but maybe I'm going to love it. And then I'm going to be like, look at me. I'm my flying Bronco.
Your Bronco would sink because it's too heavy.
Right. It's like saying, that www.google.com is never going to catch on.
Yeah, now we're going to have self-driving flying cars.
Right. Oh, my God.
But isn't that crazy?
That is really crazy.
And that's in your own backyard.
That's in your own backyard.
Yep.
Well, and I had some clients looking at something in LaGrange. Again, not cookie cutter. Beautiful old farmhouse built like in the 1800s. It was so perfect. And about 5 acres, nothing crazy. But it was downwind from the power plant out there, the electrical power plant. And, and you've got wells. And so they were close enough where they could have had contamination with the well. And then also just light pollution and all this other type of pollution. And I had to tell the clients about that. And I said, have you been out there? And because they're coming from Austin. There's a lot of people from Austin who want to come out to some of the rural areas and they see really good price. And they don't, of course, show that there's a power plant 2 blocks away. Like you have to pass the power plant as you're driving in. And I said, I will go out there with you, but this is what you need to know. And I sent them links about the power plant so they could do, not just take my word for it, but hear what's about. And they ended up going, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And I said, well, yeah, that's why you got to have an agent who is, 1, familiar with the area, and 2, it knows how to research this stuff. It's not just a pretty house and a, oh, look, that's cute. Let's get some chickens. And now they're like, have 4 heads. Because
they got some coal.
There's some weird shit in the water. Or that land that I found, my friends found, that they loved so much. That was, again, downwind from the rendering factory.
Yep. And next to the prison.
And I was like, so this is why it's priced that way.
Yep. Well, and then I was on property tour one time, and in that same area, there was an agent that had $1 million property, and she was a luxury Austin agent. And I was like, she doesn't understand the market.
Yeah.
Me being an agent in the area, I know I would never take a client there.
Yeah.
Well, unless I wanted to, but I would inform them about, if you're there at 2:00 in the afternoon, you're going to get a big old whiff of meat rendering.
Oh gosh! And sometimes that on a weird day, it'll come all the way into Smithville, and it smells.
Yep.
It's
imagine being a mile from it.
Okay, another thing that comes up is access easements.
Yep.
Where you can't access the property.
Shared driveways.
Shared driveways with your neighbor that doesn't like you. So I was talking to one of my...
Which happens all the time.
It does. Oh, I was talking to another client who's looking for land. People looking for land right now is like a big thing. And he went out there to go check it out before he told me about it. And he said that the other landowner put a big gate and locked it and said, no trespassing. This is not an easement. This is my land. And it was actually an easement for that property. But the other seller or the other property owner did not want to share that. So as soon as it went on the market, they put all this stuff up that...
To keep people off?
To keep people off. But clearly the survey shows that it is a legal easement. Yep. Okay, so let's say you get overcome that. You got to live next to somebody who's never going to let you use that driveway.
That doesn't like you.
That doesn't like you.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're going to make it heck.
Yeah, they're going to make it heck.
And you probably have to sue them over it.
Probably. Yep. And then they'll come out and shoot you or something. Their mechanical arm
I was going to say.
And then my other, that same client was looking at some other property, and a lot of times they'll sell landlock them. Yeah. And so this property was landlocked, and he's like, but I could tell from the map that it looked like, and I'm like,
you'd have to buy a helicopter, fly in.
That's where those helicopter cars come in.
Oh, true.
You could just But again, you gotta make sure these easements are, because when the price is really, really low,
there's a reason.
There's usually a reason, yeah. And then the other thing that is, does it have water access, right? So a lot of it's going to be wells. So you're going to drill a well.
But how deep?
How deep? That's a cost you got to look at. Electricity meter. If it already has water and electricity meter on it, that's a huge savings. Like that's a huge value, and that may make the price of the lot go up a bit more because of that, because that's a huge value to already have that.
Well, in Bastrop Aqua water supply, they're limiting on how many new meters they put.
Oh, wow.
And so you have to get, I don't know if this is still the case, but you'd have to get on a wait list to get a meter. So even pay for them to install it.
Yeah, it can. And that's something that you buy it and you think, oh, I'm going to start building. Oh, wait. you may not get a water meter or an electric meter for a while.
And Bluebonnet's usually pretty easy for electric.
Yeah.
But waters.
Depending on if you can access it. Because when I was asking this agent that this property is landlocked, he's like, I know you're going to have to get utility easements, and that's going to cost a lot to even be able to get electrical running through 4 other properties.
Yeah. Solar panels.
Solar panels, exactly. And then exemptions. That's another thing too. People will see an ag exemption, they'll see a wildlife exemption, and they'll just automatically assume that it goes to them when they buy. But it doesn't. You have to reapply for the exemption. And you have to fill out you have to fill out your wildlife plan. You have to fill out your, the 1D1 agriculture plan or something. I'm probably not saying that correctly, but I just had to fill one out for my own property. And you have to resubmit to the county to let them approve that exemption to stay in place. And so a lot of people don't know that, and they lose their exemption because they think it just automatically conveys.
A lot of money. Yep.
It's a ton of money.
Yep, that they lose.
And it's a lot of work to put together these plans to show the county, like, please let me keep my exemption. Because now it's the county's opportunity to say, look for one error and say, sorry, nope,
you're done.
You're going to pay the tax man.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's these are all things that you kind of need to look at when you're looking outside of a suburban, home.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, I want country, I want this. Well, you need to make sure you're really checking everything that's around it. And that we had like the train. Okay. We remember how I had that house I loved that was right next to the train, historic property. And I was talking to the list agent and I said, so how often does a train go through? And she's like, I don't know. I think it only goes through like 3 times. So that's when, okay, I will find out. And you call, I called the railroad and it goes 12 times.
I'm surprised they tell you.
Yeah.
Because I've called before and they
told me.
Okay.
And they said.
Or maybe they won't tell you what times.
Well, they did tell me times.
Okay.
They said it's unrestricted times, and often we have one that goes through around 1 in the morning and one at 10 p.m. And when I would talk to the homeowner, because he's little guy Arnold, and he would tell me anything, and he's like, "Oh yeah, honey, you'll be laying in bed, and it'll sound like
a freight train.
It'll sound like that train's coming right through the house, but pretty soon you just sleep right through it." And I'm like, So you can never trust what list agent says. You got to do your due diligence there. So do you want to do a game?
Sure.
Okay. Because we didn't do a game last one. Okay. Let's see. Actually, before we do a game, let's do kind of like a checklist. The house next door real estate land checklist for our listeners to kind of take away when they're looking at land. Like, keep these 8 things in mind. Make sure what is planned for the road, in front or near, around, adjacent for the property. So that's TxDOT. What kinds of uses are nearby, and what could that become later? So that's also like zoning issues and reaching out to the county and the city to find out, like, because there's one property that is both industrial, commercial, and residential. So if you're going to do your gentleman's farm there, just know everything else can be commercial residential. So you could be around like light industrial.
Yeah.
So you need to check that. How much of the land is actually usable and buildable? We didn't really talk about this, but a lot of times the land will be in a floodplain.
Yep.
And it's okay to be partially in a floodplain, but if it's 50% and that's where you're going to build your house and the only place you can build your house, you need to know that. And you need to also know, is access legal, practical, and comfortable? So that's us talking about our easements. And who governs the property? Is it an ETJ? I can never say that. It's like my mouth doesn't want to say that. County or city? And what are our deed restrictions, title issues? And
mineral rights.
And mineral rights, water rights.
Yep.
Some of them have water rights. And then finally, like, what kind of tax exemptions do you have? And are you willing to do the work to show that you can carry on that exemption and put it towards the county? So those are the things, if you're thinking about land, those are the big 8. And if you forgot them, you can reach out to Aunt and we will remind you and help you out there. So let's get to our little game. Okay. Red flag are not a big deal. We do this all the time because I feel like everything in real estate is a red flag or not a big deal. Okay. So deal breaker, proceed with caution, probably fine. Mm-hmm. Okay. So future road widening 10 years out. We're going to assume
Possibly.
this is a
residential.
This is we want a gentleman's farm.
Okay. Red flag.
Yeah. Red flag.
Yeah.
Neighbor has junk cars and goats. This is non-restricted. I will say when I was showing some property with that, I saw like a panda mask on a fence, and it reminded me a house of 1,000 corpses. So I'm going to
that would be a red flag.
Proceed with caution. Yeah, caution. 40% of the track is in a floodplain. Deal breaker for me.
Well, if you have cows, that's great.
In a floodplain?
Mm-hmm, because that means there's water.
Oh, what if the cows float away?
They won't.
Okay.
They are dumb, but not that dumb.
No public.
You might have one casualty or casualty.
Casualty. No public water and a septic needed. That's probably fine.
That's easy.
That's a well and a septic. Yeah. New warehouse proposed 2 miles away. Depends on what they're selling.
Yeah, depends on the use.
Is it a cannabis warehouse? So proceed with caution. Shared driveway easement. For me, that's a deal breaker. Mm-hmm. I don't want to know, like my neighbor. I don't want a janky neighbor tell me not to drive. So, active railroad half a mile away.
Half a mile's of
that's
decent,
fine.
Yeah,
I'm like at least 200 feet away.
Yeah,
you're probably fine. The property has wildlife exemption, and the buyer needs to submit a new wildlife management plan.
Green flag.
Totally green flag. That's yay.
That
you already have it in
possible,
place,
yeah.
and you can probably get it transferred. Just some work to do. So
Yay.
That's it for our looking outside the typical home and packed full of info. But if you have any questions and are interested in buying and selling real estate in Central Texas, Anthony and I are here and happy to help. You can find us at the house next door, TxDOT.com. And as always, like, subscribe, share, follow, boohoo, whatever. Until next time.